were you planning to do, for Christ's sake? Sabotage the reactor? Kill everyone on the headland?
We wouldn't need to. The threat would be sufficient.
You've got to get me off this boat. I want Timmy. I want Neil.
I can't do that, Amy. And if you didn't want to be part of all this, why did you kill Hillary Robarts?
Are you out of your mind? I didn't kill her.
Then who did?
Devices and Desires by P.D. James, dramatised in 6 episodes by Neville Teller, with Robin Ellis as Adam Dalgliesh. Episode 6.
I thought it was you who killed her.
Me? Why should I kill Hillary Robarts?
Because she'd found out about Operation Bird Call. Isn't that why you're running?
But that's nothing to do with the Robarts woman. She didn't find out, but somebody did. Somehow the security services got a lead and started checking up on me. That last postcard you hid in the Abbey ruins, it was put back the wrong way. Someone had read it, and they've been sniffing around my mother's flat. My old nanny still lives there, and she rang to tell me. They've checked up twice, once by phone, and then someone called round. I didn't wait after that. I sent the signal to say I was getting out.
But suppose you're wrong. What will they do, the people you work for? You've blown Operation Bird Call.
It'll make no difference in the long run.
What have you done about your dog? Did you feed him? Leave him water?
Of course not. This has to look like an accident. They've got to believe we're lesbian lovers who went for an evening boat trip and were drowned. They've got to find Remus hungry and thirsty.
They may not start looking till Monday. He'll be frantic. You heartless bloody bitch.
Dogs, whales, seals, is that all you can think about? You couldn't have believed we were going to all that trouble over a few butchered seal pups.
I want Timmy. I want my baby.
Won't your parents take him?
Are you crazy? I told you my stepfather knocked me and my mum about. When he started on me, I walked out. You think I'd let that pig have Timmy?
Well, there's Pasco. By the way, are you sure he knows nothing?
Of course he doesn't. Neil and I weren't even lovers.
This is the place. This is where they're going to meet us. We'll just have to circle here till they come.
Caroline, look at me. No, properly. They're not going to put me ashore, are they? They're going to kill me. You know it. You brought me here to be killed.
Don't be hysterical.
They can't risk letting me go. I know too much. Caroline, you must help me.
What you're saying is ludicrous.
Is it? But it isn't only me. It's you too. Think about it, Caroline. They won't want you either. You were only useful to them while you worked at Larksoken. Now you're a liability, the same as me. What can you possibly do for them now that would make it worthwhile supporting you, setting you up with a new identity? And if MI5 are really onto you, you'll be a constant danger to them. A boating accident without bodies, who's going to believe that? No, the only way to put MI5 off the scent is for those bodies to be washed up on some beach somewhere. Caroline, can't you see? They need us both dead. Go back. It isn't too late.
If they find us, we haven't enough power to outrun them. Our only chance is to put out the lights, lie silent, and hope they won't find us in the mist.
Listen. Isn't that...
Oh, God.
Can't we get back to the harbour?
There isn't time. It's more than 10 miles. They'd overtake us easily. The fog's our only chance. They've seen us.
Caroline, help me.
They're coming straight at us. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Amy. I'm sorry.
Timmy! Timmy!
No, 935.
Gov,
Oliphant here.
Oh, yes, Sergeant.
I thought you ought to know. Jonathan Reeves has rung HQ. He says Caroline Amphlett and Amy Cann have gone boating together. They've been gone 3 hours now, and the mist is getting thicker.
Well, why ring the police? He should have got onto the Coast Guard.
Yeah, I've done that, Gov, but that wasn't really why he phoned. He wanted to tell us that Amphlett lied. So did he. He and Amphlett didn't spend last Sunday evening together. She was on the headland. Reeves says they were having a lesbian affair. Well, I reckon they were in it together. Amphlett could have known how the Whistler operated from Mare, and Cam hated Robarts. It all adds up, sir.
Pretty circumstantial. But we'll pull them both in first thing tomorrow, hear what I gotta say.
Oh, it's you. You'd better come in. Want a beer? Oh, there's tea.
Nothing, thanks.
I burned all my pen-up records, you know. Out on the beach. You probably guessed. It was never any use. I was only using pen-up to pander to my own need to feel important. I'm going to burn everything.
And then what?
Go to London and look for a job.
What happened to Timmy?
The local authorities took him. Place of safety order or something. A couple of social workers came for him yesterday. He didn't want to go. They had to tear him from my arms.
I don't suppose they had any choice. He couldn't have stayed here with you indefinitely.
Why not? I cared for him for over a year. You know what really gets to me is the deception. I thought she cared. Oh, not about me, but about what I was trying to do. She was using me, using this place to be near Caroline.
But they can't have seen very much of each other.
How do I know? When I wasn't here, she probably sneaked out to meet her lover. Timmy must have spent hours alone. Sometimes, on Sunday afternoon, she used to go out quite blatantly, telling me she was off to meet her lover in the sand dunes. I thought it was a joke. And all the time she and Caroline were out there making love, laughing at me.
You've only got Jonathan Reeves' word for that. Caroline could have been lying.
No. They used us both. Reeves and me. Amy never wanted me near her. And when she came in from those Sunday walks, she was shining with happiness.
You can't really believe that Amy connived at murder.
I don't know! That's what I'm telling you. I never really knew her. And I'm in such a muddle. Anger at what she did to me, grief that she's dead. I didn't think you could be angry and grieving at the same time.
Oh, yes. Anger and grief, all mixed up together. It's the commonest reaction to bereavement.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dalgliesh.
Coffee, Adam?
Thank you. 3 pairs of eyes had turned on me as I walked into the oak-panelled room. I'd met 2 of those present earlier that day, following an urgent phone call from MI5. Clifford Sowerby, immaculate in his pinstripe, was standing against the fireplace. Bill Harding, tall and tweedy, struggled out of his easy chair and busied himself with drinks. The third, whiskey glass in hand, was Alex Mayer.
Well, and how do things stand now?
You can relax. Pascoe believes the official line. That the 2 girls were lovers, they went for an unwise boat trip together, and were accidentally run down in the fog. He won't make any trouble. His capacity for troublemaking seems to be over.
And Cam left nothing incriminating in the caravan?
I helped Pascoe destroy what was left of her life. We carried everything down to the beach and made a bonfire. While he was busy feeding the flames, I made a fairly thorough search. There was nothing there.
Good of you to do this, Adam. Obviously we couldn't use Rickards. He knows nothing of the security angle.
I'm not ambivalent about terrorism. You asked me to do something and I did it. I still think you should put Rickards in the picture, but that's your business.
What's Ricard's view of the murder?
He seems to believe that Cam and Amphlett were in it together.
He's probably right.
On what evidence? And since he's not allowed to know that one of them at least is a suspected terrorist, where's the motive?
Oh, come off it, Adam. Amy Cam hated Robarts. We know they had a screaming match that Sunday. And what about the libel action? That would have ruined Pascoe. No, Cam wanted Robarts dead, and Caroline Amphlett killed her. That's what everyone will believe.
So here's a mother so outraged by a minor assault on her child that she avenges it with murder. And that same mother leaves the baby alone in a caravan while she goes sailing with her girlfriend. Won't Rickards find that a little difficult to reconcile?
Luckily we're not required to find out how he squares that particular circle. Anyway, Adam, there is a possible motive. Robarts might have come to suspect Caroline Amphlett. You did say she was conscientious, didn't you, Mayor? And somehow Amphlett could have found out.
Yes, Hilary was conscientious, but I doubt whether she was conscientious enough to detect a conspiracy which had eluded me.
Well, it would clearly suit you to get the case closed, I see that. But if I were the investigating officer, the file would stay open.
Then let's be grateful you aren't.
What about Amphleth's house? Did your people find anything there?
Clean. No radio, no documents. If Amphlett did intend to do a bunk, she cleaned up efficiently before she left.
Okay, suppose she was getting out. Why was she in such a panic? If she'd killed Robarts and thought the police were getting close, that might explain it, but they weren't getting close.
Their own side could have killed them both. After all, once the Larksoken plan was obsolete, they were expendable. What were the comrades going to do with them, for God's sake?
Well, it could, of course, have been a genuine boat trip and a genuine accident.
Is there any evidence that it was an accident? Has any ship reported bow damage in the fog, a possible collision?
None so far.
And you, Mayor, you never had the least suspicion about Amphlett?
None. I was surprised, a little irritated even, that she chose not to stay on as my PA, and even more so at the reason she gave. Jonathan Reeves was hardly the man I thought she'd have chosen.
Did you ever see the other girl, Amy? I'm told she did visit the power station on one of the open days. I don't suppose you remember her?
I did see her once, I think. Blonde hair. Pretty. Amy, you're fantastic. I can't stop thinking about you.
You can stop thinking right now and try some action.
Oh, Amy, my love. What will happen to the child, incidentally?
Taken into care, I suppose. He'll probably end up fostered or adopted. Do they think, these people, ever? Rootless, adrift, no background, no faith. And then when they do find something to believe in, what do they choose? Violence, hatred, murder. That girl Amphlett didn't even have the excuse of poverty. She had it all.
We know what she had. What we can't know is what she didn't have.
And what did they expect to do with Larksoken if they did take it over?
The fact remains that they didn't. They couldn't have done. And it's our job to see that they never can.
What extraordinary people they are. I wonder how they got on to Caroline.
Almost certainly a tip-off from the security services in Germany.
And now they'll be dusting down the furniture, I suppose, checking for fingerprints. They've got one thing wrong, though. A physical relationship between Amy and Caroline? That's nonsense.
Quite. I haven't congratulated you yet on your new job.
Thank you. All this has somewhat taken the guilt off the gingerbread, but it's still the most important job I'm ever likely to hold. So you think we still have a killer alive on the headland?
Don't you?
Daddy?
What is it, Teresa?
Am I going to die?
No, of course not. It's only appendicitis.
Daddy, I want to see Father McKay.
Tomorrow, after the operation. Now lie still, darling.
I want him now, Daddy. There's something I have to tell him.
Tomorrow, Teresa.
Can I tell you? I have to tell someone now.
Go on, then.
That night, Miss Robarts died. I crept out to the Abbey ruins. I often went there. I used to go with Mummy. There were postcards stuck in the wall. I liked to read them.
It doesn't matter, darling. You don't have to tell me.
But I want to. Please, Daddy. I saw Miss Robarts running into the sea. Daddy, I was there.
All right.
There was someone else there, too. I saw her walking over the headland towards the sea.
Her?
It was Mrs. Dennison, Daddy. Meg Dennison.
Come in. Oh, it's you, Meg.
I wonder if I could talk to you privately for a few minutes, Mr. Copley. As a priest.
Of course, my dear.
Richter, if we're faced with a decision, a dilemma, how do we know what's right?
Our conscience will tell us, if we will only listen.
The still small voice, like the voice of God.
Not like Meg. Conscience is the voice of God. It's the voice of the Holy Spirit that dwells inside each one of us.
Yes, but how can we be sure that what we're hearing isn't the expression of our own subconscious desires? the devices and desires of our own hearts. Mightn't our conscience be telling us what we most want to hear?
All I can tell you is that I haven't found it so. Conscience has usually directed me against my own desires.
But even if my conscience tells me what is right, suppose I cause harm, even danger, to someone else if I obey it.
Meg, my dear, our responsibility should begin and end with doing what we know is right. The consequences we must leave to God. It's not in our power to control the results of what we do or decide not to do. That is to set ourselves up on a par with God. No, my dear, our task is to do what we believe to be right.
Yes, I see. You've been very helpful. Now I know what to do.
Meg, good to see you.
Hello, Alice. What a day. Are you alone?
As you see, Alex is at Larksoken.
I've brought back the first 50 pages of the proofs. I've done what you asked. Checked for printing errors only.
I hope it wasn't too much of a chore. I get so obsessed with the recipes. It's amazing how many printing mistakes I miss.
No, I enjoyed it.
But you didn't battle your way through this wind just to bring me my proofs.
Alice, those two girls, Caroline and Amy, people are saying that they killed Hilary Robarts. Is that what you believe?
No. Why do you ask?
Do you think the police will try to pin it on them?
Why should they?
Well, it would be convenient for them, wouldn't it? 2 dead suspects, case closed.
Were they suspects?
Well, they didn't have alibis. That man Caroline was supposed to be engaged to confessed that they weren't together that night. Caroline forced him to lie. It's all over the village.
So they didn't have alibis, nor did other people. You, for example. That isn't proof of guilt. I didn't have an alibi either. I was at home all that evening, but I doubt whether I could prove it.
But that isn't so, is it, Alice? You weren't at home. It's what you told Chief Inspector Rickards on Monday. I was sitting here, remember? But it wasn't true.
Is that what you've come here to say?
Oh, Alice, I know it can be explained. It's ridiculous even to ask. It's just that I've had it on my mind for so long.
How do you know I wasn't here?
Because I was. After the Copleys left, I suddenly felt I had to see you. I tried phoning, but the answer machine was on. So I walked down over the headland. Your cottage was empty. The lights were on downstairs, but the door was locked. The stereo was playing, very loud. I rang and rang. When you didn't come, I was afraid you might be ill. I used the key you gave me to get in. I walked into a surge of wonderful music. I recognized it. Mozart's Symphony in G minor. It was Martin's favorite. But you weren't here. And suddenly, I felt I had no right to be here. That's why I left without leaving a message.
So the cottage was empty. Is there something else?
That message on your answer phone from George Jago about the Whistler. If you'd really received it at 8:10, you would have rung Norwich Station and left a message for me. You knew how much the Copleys disliked the thought of going to their daughter. You'd have rung, Alice. There could have been an announcement over the station loudspeaker, and I could have driven them home. You'd have thought of that.
One lie to Rickards and one instance of insensitive neglect. Is that all?
The knife. The middle knife in your block. It wasn't here. It meant nothing to me at the time, of course, but the block looked odd. I was so used to seeing 5 graded knives, each in its sheath. It's back now, I see. It was back when I called on Monday after the murder. But it wasn't here on the Sunday night.
So you sat here and heard me lying to Chief Inspector Rickards, but you said nothing. Not even, I presume, to Adam Dalgliesh.
Well, how could I? Not till we had spoken. I knew you must have had what seemed to you a good reason for lying. I wonder who you're shielding, and forgive me, Alice, sometimes I wonder whether you were there when he killed her. Kept guard, stood there, watching. Might even have helped him by cutting off her hair.
No, Meg, I didn't help anyone. And no one helped me. There were only 2 people on that beach. Hilary Robarts was one, and I was the other. I planned it alone, and I did it alone.
Alice, they were your hands. Your hands tightened the belt around her throat, cut off her hair, sliced that L into her forehead.
She died very quickly, very easily. We should be lucky to go with so little pain. As for what followed, that didn't matter. Not to her, not even much to me. She was dead. It's what you do to the living that takes the strong emotions. Courage, hatred, love. Of course, you can't prove any of this.
And the portrait? The smashed window? Was that you too?
Of course.
But why?
Because it became necessary. While I was waiting for Hilary to come out of the sea, I glimpsed Teresa Blaney. She suddenly appeared on the very edge of the cliff by the Abbey ruins. She was only there for a moment, but I saw her. She didn't see me.
But if she didn't see...
Don't you understand? It meant that her father wouldn't have an alibi. Once the police found out that she was on the headland that night, Ryan would be in terrible danger. And when I got back here and heard the answer phone, I knew the murder could no longer be pinned on the Whistler. I had to give Ryan Blaney an alibi. So I tried to ring him to say that I'd collect the portrait. When I couldn't get through, I knew I had to call at Scudder's cottage as quickly as possible.
And of course you couldn't just collect the picture, could you? You had to speak to him.
Oh, that's why I pretended the portrait wasn't in the shed. I hid it in my car boot. After that, even if Teresa confessed that she left the cottage, Ryan would be safe. On my way home, I stopped just below the pillbox and threw the bumble trainers inside. I'd taken them from the rectory that afternoon.
And then you threw the picture through Hilary's window?
Oh, I had to get rid of it somehow. That way it looked like a deliberate act of hatred, and there were plenty of candidates for that.
You took a lot of trouble to give Ryan an alibi. What about all the other innocent suspects?
None of them is a parent responsible for 4 motherless children.
And now you'll let them blame the murder on Caroline and Amy. Both dead and both innocent.
It can't hurt them now.
But it's wrong. And it's unjust.
Meg, they're dead. It can't matter. Concentrate on injustice to the living. Alex had a right to that job.
And what about Hilary Robarts? Didn't she have a right to life? Nothing she did deserved death.
I'm not arguing that she deserved to die. All I know is that I wanted her dead.
Alice, that seems to me so evil that it's beyond my understanding. No one deserves to die like that. What you did was a dreadful sin.
You know, Meg, you never fail to astonish me. You use words which are no longer even in the church's vocabulary.
But why did you do it, Alice? I have to know.
Isn't it enough that she was determined to marry Alex and I was determined that she shouldn't?
There must have been more to it than that.
Oh, there was. She was blackmailing Alex. She had the power to destroy his whole career. Toby Gledhill and Alex had been preparing the case for Larksoken's new reactor together. They discovered that the assumptions on which the case rested were much more critical than had been thought. Somehow Toby let slip that Alex was delaying publishing the results of their research because it could prejudice the inquiry.
You mean Alex deliberately falsified the results?
Of course not. That's something he's incapable of. All he did was delay publishing the experiment. Toby was furious, though. He was almost prepared to hand it over to Neil Pascoe, but Hilary dissuaded him. It was far too valuable to her for that. She meant to use it to persuade Alex to marry her. She faced him with it when he walked her home after that dinner party, and late that night he told me. I knew then what I had to do. You see, I owed Alex a death, and if at the heart of your being you feel that you've no right even to exist, one more cause of guilt hardly matters.
Alex, he's bleeding to death.
Whatever he's been doing to you, he won't do it again, ever.
We've got to get help.
No. Listen to me, and I'll tell you what happened. We left him clearing the undergrowth with the billhook, and went to climb the apple trees. Then we decided we'd better get back. When we found him, he was already dead. It's as simple as that. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
I did what I had to do. The job is his, and they won't take it away from him.
But if they find out what you did, and why you did it...
Only 2 people know that. You and me. And I wouldn't have told you if I couldn't trust you.
Oh, God, Alice. What are you going to do?
That depends on you.
This isn't a responsibility I asked for, and I don't want it.
But you can't evade it. You know what you know. Call Chief Inspector Rickards now. You can use this telephone. Or do you want some time to consider?
No. I know what has to be done. I'll do it if I have to. But I'd rather you did it.
Then give me until tomorrow. There are things I need to do here. Affairs to arrange. I should like 12 hours of freedom. If you can give me that, I'll be grateful.
But when you confess, you'll have to give them a motive. Something that they can believe in.
I'll say she wanted to take Alex away from me after all I'd done for him. They'll see me as a neurotic menopausal virgin. Suppressed sexuality. That's the kind of motive that makes sense to a man like Rickard's.
I shall pray for you, Alice.
As long as you don't expect me to repent. I've nothing to repent of. Except that you, Meg, are an incompetent car mechanic.
Hello? Fire Brigade? I'm speaking from the mill at Larksoken. I'm looking across the headland. There's a fire at Marta's cottage. Be as quick as you can. The place is ablaze. Seconds later, I was hurtling across the rough grass of the headland. The Jaguar rocked to a stop and I rushed to the front door. It was locked. I ran round to the patio. The back door, too, was bolted. I had no doubt who was inside. I stood on the sill and kicked at the kitchen window. The glass crashed inwards and the flames leapt at me. Alice Mayer was lying by the stove, her body rigid as an effigy. Her hair and clothes were alight, and she lay staring upwards, bathed in tongues of fire. There flashed into my mind the image of the martyred Agnes Poley, sent to the stake 4 centuries before, and Alice's words at that dinner party a few short weeks ago.
Can you imagine anything worse than dying by fire? The agony.
I dragged her dead weight to the window and manhandled her out over the kitchen sink. Then I seized the taps, one with each hand, and slowly lifted myself across. Smoke billowed round me, and the flames clawed and bit at my legs and back as I fell forward onto the stones.
Adam.
Mrs. Dennison, is that you?
Yes.
Don't look.
No, I know. She's dead. Lie still, my dear. The ambulance is coming. You're going to be all right. Tell me, how are your legs and back?
A little stiff. The scars still itch occasionally.
I know you don't want to be told this, but we're all very grateful for what you're doing for the Blaneys. The rent you'll be charging for the mill is derisory.
I'm doing Ryan Blaney no favours. I need a caretaker, and I wanted a local family to live here. You could argue that I should be paying him.
Well, it'll transform their lives. Teresa's a different child already. Did you know Alex Mayer is selling Marta's cottage? Now he's in his new job. I think he wants to cut himself off from Larksoken altogether.
Understandable.
Does Alex accept that his sister killed Hilary?
I don't think Alex Mayer is a man to deceive himself about uncomfortable facts. Officially, he accepts the police's view, that the person who murdered Hilary Robarts is dead, but that now it's impossible to prove whether that person was Amy Cam, Caroline Amphlett, or Alice Mayer.
Almighty and most merciful Father, we have erred and strayed from thy ways like lost sheep. We have followed too much the devices and desires of our own hearts. We have offended against thy holy laws. We have left undone those things which...
In the final episode of Devices and Desires by P.D. James, dramatised by Neville Teller, Robin Ellis played Adam Dalgliesh, Suzanne Bertiche was Alice Mayer, Paul Shelley, Alex Mayer, Emily Richard, Meg Dennison, Amita Deary, Caroline, Sasha Paul, Amy, Dermot Crowley, Blaney, Kate Wilton, Teresa and Alice Mayer, aged 15, Bruce Alexander, Rickards, Jonathan Taffler, Oliphant, David Timpson, Sowerby, Geoffrey Beavers, Harding, Will Johnson, Pascoe, Vaughan Sivell, Alex, aged 15, and David Enders played the Reverend Copley. Devices and Desires was directed by Matthew Walters as a Ladbroke Radio production for BBC Radio 4.